Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody. Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Yeah, I'm screwing up all over the place. Man, I took 10 extra minutes this morning to chill out a little bit. And then I get down here and I realize that I have probably more stories from this week between what I do with this show and what I do with the politics show and other fun stuff that I've probably had in months. I mean, it was ridiculous. I'm putting my show together. I'm like, oh my God, am I out of the bookmarks yet? No, it sucked. So it kind of threw me off a little bit. So you didn't get to see the cool logo to start the show. You know what? There you go. Cool logo. Mark Hoke Show. We are on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go pick that app up right now on your phone. All you got to do is go into your little app store and, punch up AUDACY, and you are going to get to hear our show, all the great shows on KDAWN, including stuff like Jimmy Fallon we had on the show, Steve Sanchez, the show I produce, and all 220 stations worth of radio, all for you. Go get that app right now, and I promise you the temperature is going to drop 5 degrees in Vegas. I'm going to make a call right now. We're also live streaming. If you want to get in the old chat box, so we've been trying to feature everybody on the social media stuff. Come on in. X, YouTube, Facebook. X is at Mark Hoke Show, and you can, give us a follow there. And you can also subscribe on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show. Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. Follow on there. We can't get all these things right. Can't we just do one thing? Like we say we Google something. Can't everybody just come up with one term? Be fantastic. I got to get this guy in here. Maybe he has a solution. Say hi to Coach Rosey.
I don't have many solutions. I know that today is Mother's Day, and I want to wish my wife, mother of my 3 wonderful children, that I've been married to for almost 26 years. Happy Mother's Day. And to my mom, you created the epitome of greatness, the resurrection of perfection. So 52 years ago, thank you, Mom, for going through 36 hours of labor with this guy.
Man, that must have been a great apple pie. Must have been a great apple pie.
Great.
Right. Sorry, Coach, I had to slam you there. I apologize. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Well, the good ones. And I say, if you're a bad mom, forget you. No offense. We have a wild show coming up for you guys. I can't wait. We're going to be hitting all this news of the week, and Jiminy Christmas. It's unreal, everything that I have in my notes. But I get a little help in the second hour as well from, I don't know, Coach, would you say he is the best journalist out there in pro wrestling right now? Brian Alvarez from the Wrestling Observer? Or you have other preferences?
One of them. He's definitely one of them. I look to him, but there's other guys in the profession that are at his level, but he's definitely one of the OGs for being there for his longevity, and now he's kind of pushing back against his buddy Dave. So it's good to have him on the show.
Yeah, we're gonna maybe press him a little bit on that fun stuff because Uncle Dave's had a few stories wrong lately, and I'm just curious to see what Brian's gonna say about it. And it's not just him, by the way. It is everybody has been screwing stuff up all week long, and it has been very frustrating for those of us that are relying on these guys to get stuff right. And man, they are blowing it all over the place. So we're gonna discuss that. But Coach, this was kind of a tough call on where I wanted to start. But I'm gonna go back to what's happening in WWE with the releases. The financial reports are out. There's some really interesting material here to hit, and that's where I'm going to begin. And of course, we'll be talking about Backlash and everything else, guys. So give me your comments in the chat box. Say hi, hit us on Twitter, whatever. So WWE has apparently asked a handful of talents to take a 50% pay cut. New Day said, no, we're out of here. They're trying to get Xavier Woods to sign some sort of weird deal that he stay on and do their video show, the up, down, down thing. He said, forget it. And they put out statements saying to thank you to everybody. We also had Roman Reigns, who he was apparently approached. And when he said no, they removed a bunch of dates. WWE has now insisted that that is a clerical error on their part. And all those dates that Roman was supposed to do in June, we just made a typo.
Yeah, right.
Coach, you buying that?
Typos are good excuses for, oops, I shouldn't have put that out, or oops, I'm sad that did come out, or oops, who's the leak? And when you have your tribal chief, he might not be selling the most merch, but when it comes down to all eyes on a main event match, you're not going to get that with Danhausen or the little people that are running out of cloning machines. You're going to get that from your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. So those days taken away from him, that wasn't a good idea, because you didn't really acknowledge him for the true greatness that he is and what he brings to WWE. They would not have made him champion for over 1,000 days if he wasn't selling out houses. He is currently the guy that people want to be attached to, because he draws in the best stories.
No doubt about that. And, I think Roman just said, look, you guys want to pull this on me? I'm not going out. I'd be curious to see whose actual decision that was, because no, I'm not buying the clerical error either. So all this news comes out about, we had this ton of releases, and then the New Day story, the Roman Reigns story, the other stories about, someone else took a cut. And then this one comes out. WWE had their financials come out for the quarter. We talked about this last week, Coach. You ready? Are you ready?
Bring it.
TKO first quarter reports. Total revenue. $1.596 billion came into TKO. That, of course, includes the rodeo, WWE, and UFC. UFC brought in $401.2 million. WWE brought in $475.7 million. The on location stuff brought in $655.4 million. It's a lot of money, Coach. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then you turn around, and we also, in these reports, see that the boys on the top got some significant financial improvements in their pay. Nick Khan goes from, let me go back. CEO Ari Emanuel, total compensation from last year, $67 million, up from 18. Mark Shapiro, the TKO president and COO, $43 million, up from 32 in 2024. Nick Khan brought in $6 million in 2024. He now got $24 million. And Andrew Schleimer, the TKO's chief financial officer, who took in $8 million last year, takes in 23. I don't know.
Surprises?
No, there's no surprise. I think to me the surprise is that the numbers are that much bigger. That's some significant moolah going into your pocket after what you took in the year before. But here's
go ahead.
And here's where WWE's got a problem. You have all this stuff that happened around WrestleMania, the ticket prices, the barring restaurants from showing WrestleMania. You have all these different little things that just were cost cutting, the extra ads that are driving everybody nuts, the sponsorships on the ring and around, and it just made them look really greedy. And now this information comes out. And you're cutting everybody just for fun. I don't know who's in the PR department at TKO, but God, they've got to be running like they're on a hamster wheel right now. It's crazy how they're shooting their public image in the foot really bad, Coach, really badly.
Well, I don't think they care about PR. I don't think corporations and businesses are really worried about what people think nowadays. And that's unfortunate. You take a look at many industries, including the teaching business in Arizona. Every teacher is on a pay freeze next year, except for the administrators and the superintendents. They all got a raise.
That's
I
crazy.
think the same is for a lot of corporations. The guys and the men and women that are the backbones of the company are pretty much grunts. And we're producing for companies like the wrestlers are producing for companies. And the people at the top are the ones that are truly profiting off the labor of the workers. It's happening all over the United States. And I think TKO is saying, hey, wrestling fans, you need us more than we need you. So you know what? You're going to keep coming back Mondays. You're going to keep coming back Fridays. You're going to keep coming to WrestleManias and premier events. You're going to sign up for On Location because we know you need us. We're your entertainment. So you can complain all you want. But you know what? You're going to keep coming and keep coming. So why not? If we're the organization, if we're the leaders, we're the ones that have put all this infrastructure and great stuff in place. We're the masterminds behind it. And you workers just go out and take your penance and be happy with what you have. It's sad, but that's the reality we're in 2026.
I just wonder how much this will affect their business at all. It with the ticket pricing and everything else. I mean, it just had everybody so angry. And then you see this, and people aren't going to be as upset about that because this doesn't really hit their bottom line too much. But it's going to cost them some of their favorite performers. And I really, if I'm Tony Khan right now, I'm kind of sitting around and saying, you know what? If they keep making these cuts and this is the direction that they're going to go, man, there's going to be some talent out there that we're going to be able to scoop up. Now, I can't remember who it was that I heard the discussion that they were saying that, there's very, very few true difference makers in pro wrestling. You've got guys like Roman and Cody and MJF, but there's very few people that actually move the needle. I just wonder if you would see if you see more people going to AEW or they go to TNA or maybe they go to MLW, that people will start to notice a little bit. I mean, people notice this New Day thing. So I'm fascinated. I just feel like they've got to really watch what they're doing a little bit and not be so crazy. And I will say this, for Backlash, they apparently did respond to some of the things that were discussed with them. The time of the wrestling for Backlash, that let me get my time information here. They had more wrestling. I think it was 100 and there it is. Backlash 1 hour and 24 minutes of wrestling time. WrestleMania Night 2 had 121 and WrestleMania Night 1 at 123. So shorter card, less ads, more, and it was a better pay-per-view. So, maybe they are looking at some of this stuff and saying, okay, maybe we got to make some tweaks, but yeah, tricky situation, Coach.
Wait, I'm getting a text. I'm getting a text from Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh yeah.
I've been talking about creating unions in wrestling for years. Until we get a union, these guys are continuing to get stepped on. It's a pipe dream, but to get a union, to get some organization in wrestling would really put the guys in a spot where they can call their own shots. Will it happen? Probably not. But boy, that sure would be nice for the guys.
Yeah. I think that if they wanted to do something like that, they really should join the Screen Actors Guild and get involved there instead of trying to start their own, because there's not going to be a lot of leverage. There really isn't. And,
no, I know.
And we're also seeing, a lot of these higher paid acts that are starting to get let go, but there's young people down there ready to replace them. I'm sure you see that all the time in teaching, Coach, in the education system. You guys that have been there for 20, 25 years. Well, you know what? They may decide to ship your butt out for a gold watch and, give some wet behind the ears college grad your job, because they're going to be able to pay them $20,000 or $30,000 less.
Correct.
And that's the way it works. I actually had that happen to me on 2 jobs that I've had in my life, that I was end up making too much money, and they just brought somebody else in that they've said I can pay it 40% less. So off you go. Thanks. It happens. But man, the business side of things right now is just absolutely incredible in WWE. And by the way, The Rock didn't help wearing that $3.3 million watch to the Met Gala. Did you see that, Coach?
No, but must be nice.
Yeah, he wore a what was the name of it real quick, because I'm just messing up my screen here and trying to get to break. He wore a watch from, oh my God, what's going on here? If I have my mice in the right place, but it was a watch from
It's probably Coach Keith's watch. He's a great watch collector in Philadelphia. I know. Probably one of his Rolexes or something like that.
A good stall, Coach. I appreciate that. Jacob & Company Billionaire 3 model watch, along with some sort of suit skirt. I don't know what the heck that thing he was wearing was, but that was pretty weird. But yeah, I would not be trying to make people think that I'm this great company and taking care of my people, and even if you rented it, still, man, it's a bad look.
It is.
All right, so we're trying to get to break. Bear with me for just 1 second. And this is just amazing, Coach.
That's Nick Khan right now saying, Mark, I know you were in the AI algorithm for Google being the 3rd best wrestling show in the United States, but how dare you put out our financials? Next time WrestleMania is in Vegas, you'll be sitting in the
there we go,
upper levels.
There we go. Someone switched my screen. Dirty rats out here, Coach, just messing me up. All right, hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about that backlash. We're going to talk about what's going on in SmackDown. We're going to talk about a gingerbread man. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling, right here on KDAWN. Stick around.
My neighbor used to keep his house nice and tidy. He dressed sharp, too. Now, I don't know, things have been off. The lawn's overgrown. Trash just sits there. He doesn't even comb his hair anymore. Could it be his new friend that's been coming around? He says he's fine, but I'm worried. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Something just doesn't feel right. I can't keep pretending everything's okay. Hi, I'd like to file a report. Trust your instincts. Make the tough call. Report neglect to Adult Protective Services anonymously. Call 888-729-0571 or visit nevada211.org/APS. This message is sponsored by Adult Protective Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Need to sell your house fast? Whether you're facing foreclosure, stuck with bad tenants, or just ready for a fresh start, House Buyer Network can help. We buy homes as is for cash. No fees, no commissions, no repairs. Get a fair cash offer in just 24 hours and close in as little as 7 days. Call 833-719-5877 now for your free no-obligation offer. That's 833-719-5877. House Buyer Network. Fast cash, no hassle.
Offers are typically below market value in exchange for speed and convenience. Call for details.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, $6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we're back on this Captain Screw Up Show. That's right, everybody. I admit my faults when I make a mistake. Unlike some people that I know. Try to get it done right. We'll get Coach Rosey back in here in just a second. One other quick point I wanted to make on the financials for WWE. One thing that you got to keep in mind here as well is that they are actually carrying $4.6 billion in debt from the merger. So they may still be operating in the negative here, but you can compare that to Disney, who's at $45 billion in debt. Comcast is $100 billion in debt. Warner Brothers before the merger was $33 billion in debt. Netflix about $14 to $15 billion in debt. So, Coach, they're carrying a little bit of debt on the ledger.
You can all write that off. You can write that off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I just in fairness, I wanted to make sure we threw that out. So a pretty interesting week leading into Backlash. We're dealing with all these releases and everything, but we had, let's see, Nia Jax managed to bust up Paige. Coach, Nia had lost weight. She was looking good. We hadn't any problems, and then she bust Paige open. This is the third accident.
Might not have been her mistake. Paige is a great wrestler, but she's a little brittle.
Yeah, but so Nia Jax gets involved in another one there. Let's see. John Cena had his big announcement he said, hey, we're going to be making history. Okay, we'll debate that a little bit later. But people have been talking, Coach, about the gingerbread man. Of course, that was the costume that got worn out with Lil Yachty and Trick Williams to mock Sami Zayn. Those are redheads, so they brought out this giant gingerbread man. They had him walk out, and then they had Sammy brought the costume out this week and killed it, or last week and killed it. Just mauled the thing. Poor guy. So WWE decided to do a funeral for the gingerbread man. They did all these shots where they superimposed the gingerbread man at different moments in pro wrestling history. Had the coffin out there. The gingerbread man was in the coffin. And Trick came out with some singers that were apparently singing off key intentionally, just because I don't think Trick doesn't have a great voice. I'll find out someday. But I haven't seen any topic tear people apart so much like the gingerbread man.
Yeah.
Coach, did you think it was funny that the whole thing was kind of like, yeah, this is a skit, it's annoying Sammy, it's cute, or did you think, why are we wasting our time?
I just thought it didn't match the persona that they're trying to exemplify for Trick and for Little Yachty. When you come out to whoop that Trick, whether it's super imposed on the volume or the fans are truly chanting it that loud, that gives me the thought of someone that is real rugged, that's real down with the streets, that's in the trenches, someone that I might see walking down the street when I was a child, someone that I wouldn't think that would be messing with childish stuff like a gingerbread man. So for me, that didn't really make a lot of sense. Does it do good for merchandising, T-shirts, stuffed animals, all that type of stuff? Yeah. But for the storyline to really be realistic, you shouldn't have somebody like that with a gingerbread. And for someone that, for WWE that's trying to truly be woke, that's kind of a derogatory term for someone that's a redhead.
Oh, Coach,
it's
that's mean.
It's classless. It's classless. I mean, if you had a redheaded daughter or something like that, you wouldn't want them to be called a ginger. So, there's a lot of things not to like about it. Trick, you're still my number one up and coming wrestler in the game, but hopefully you'll move on from the gingerbread man, because you deserve some storylines that truly fit your character and your aura.
I think you can call anybody a ginger you want. Go ahead, have fun. They'll have an insult back for us. It's okay. But this is the same thing that I'm going to talk about with Danhausen too. Because I was like, this is like a 1980s skit that they're pulling. And at first I was like, what are we doing? But I will say that it was a decent payoff. There was some funny stuff on Friday night. Sammy played it great. I really think he did, because he's trying to act like the big jerk. He did it. They're trying to make him into that person. So I think to a point, mission accomplished a little bit. But on the same side, you've got Danhausen doing his thing too. We had it at Backlash. Actually on SmackDown, he made a cloning machine. They had him back there with a science kit that you could have gotten from a high school lab, and a few lights in a big box. And he cloned himself, sort of. Ended up being Minihausen, El Torito, by the way, which was really cool to bring him back. But the match itself was really good, but the other stuff was cheesy as hell. And the fans were not happy to see a little person popping out of that box. They were very disappointed. And that was another one of the reporting things that happened this week, that everybody was saying it was Jelly Roll. It wasn't Jelly Roll. People were saying it's CM Punk, not CM Punk. Is WWE trying too hard to be funny here? Or are they hitting the right note? The kids might be liking this stuff.
I don't know how many kids are watching the product nowadays. Whenever I go to a show, I see mostly middle-aged gentlemen, or guys in their 20s, and maybe 4 or 5 women. A couple more women than that. But it's not a kid-driven product. They try to make things sexy and stuff with the women, and then they're trying to do this childish stuff. I know they're trying to create a buffet where everyone is trying to have different parts of the show that will fit everybody's interests. So to go back to the kids, I get it. That's where the real money is in wrestling, is in TV deals and in merchandise. So again, with these little clones, the little people coming out, there's a whole nother swath of merchandise that can be bought, video game downloads that can be made. So that's where they're going. I mean, us that are in the so-called internet wrestling community, we're going to have an issue with it. But for the majority of the fans, they're going to laugh. because it is funny to an extent. My wife thought it was funny with Gingy. She didn't see the stuff with the little people, but she would have probably thought that was funny as well. But for us, I think, we need Nikita or Magnum TA against Tully Blanchard, best out of 7, I quit. You're not going to get that anymore. But what you might get is a Gingy on the pole match or a cloning machine. So as the business is evolving, things are changing, and we can either be in our rocking chair with our cane saying this stuff is terrible, or we can just laugh for what it is and move on.
And I think that that was something, and going back to like the mid 80s to maybe the early 90s, WWE did a lot of things that were oriented towards kids. And I mentioned it last week about the New Day's unicorn horn, that just kids just love that stuff. And I think that they are trying to maybe kid some things down a little bit. You got to bring that next generation in. And look, if it's a matter of having a gingerbread man dancing around, and by the way, I'm going to give little Yachty credit. He's been doing a pretty good job with this.
Real good job.
I'm shocked, but I'm glad he cares enough to get this work done right. But if they're selling Danhausen masks, and you're going to have little Danhausens flying around that you can hook on your rear view mirror, knock yourselves out, boys. But it is fascinating. We have a couple comments in the chat box. Coach Keith Morrison says a real pimp would never need a gingerbread man. It's not realistic. Hey, and I know some badass gingerbread men. Don't be banging on a gingerbread man, you guys. And Javon Campbell 8357 says, well, Stone Cold Ron Cena broke Sammy at the funeral. That was funny. Yes, that was funny. And like I said, Sammy just was like, why are we doing this? This is crazy. And he was ready to explode, and he did. And then he got taken out. It was some good work by WWE. I give him a hair of credit for that one. Now, you just talked about the internet wrestling community, Coach. And we're going to talk to Brian Alvarez about this in the next hour. But WWE has apparently have bots and other people going around, and they are shutting down a lot of these streamers and content creators. The ones that are doing the reaction videos, which they were actually putting in their programming for a while.
Yeah.
And they have decided, you're not going to have our content out there anymore. And Coach, I'm going to give you the broadcasting side of this. I'm stunned this didn't happen sooner. I'm shocked. That is copyrighted material. That's trademarked material. You can't, if I'm in here in the station, just to give you an example, our KDAWN license doesn't cover music.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stations that we have do, but ours doesn't because we don't need it. So if I play the Rolling Stones, I can get fired. That's why a lot of the stuff that you guys have seen me do over the years is generic music, because I can't do it. I'm not licensed to do it. You don't see me playing highlights on the show, even though I'm going to do one because I know I can get away with this one later for Brian. But I can't play highlights because it's copyrighted material. I was shocked that at WrestleMania, a couple of the videos that I was putting up, they actually gave me, or they didn't give me a copyright strike, but YouTube shut a couple of them down because of the music that was playing. It was all ring introductions, but they shut those down too. But it's their material. And I feel terrible for these people, especially after WWE hyped them up, and was putting them on TV and like, oh, look, here's so-and-so and so-and-so. And then you kick them in the teeth, you kill their channels. Once again, this is a situation where I get WWE is protecting their product. But at the same time, boy, once again, it makes TKO look petty.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? Again, it's about the bottom line with money. I mean, you can keep being shocked, or eventually you're just going to be like, all right, it's happening again. All right, it's happening again. That's to the point where I'm at right now. I don't consider myself, mean, I consider myself a loyal fan, but I don't consider the company having a true care about what I think. Back in the day, there was a lot of kayfabe. There's no kayfabe nowadays. You know everything that's going to happen. You know all the contracts. You know that they're hunting for money. So you got to kind of just look at it as, here we go, and just roll with it. Otherwise, you're just going to be angry all the time. So, I mean, I understand what they're doing. Do I like it? No. But there's nothing. It's an uncontrollable thing as a fan. So if you can't control it, there's nothing really to get upset about, because you're just going to hurt yourself, because WWE is not looking out for the best interests of the true fans, because the true fans that were doing it were making some great reaction videos.
Yeah.
That would actually promote people watching the business. Conrad gets the same copyright strikes, and he's best friends with Bruce Pritchard. I mean, and they had that show on the WWE network just because the old podcasts that Conrad and Bruce were doing were driving traffic to WWE network.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening anymore. Everybody has to be conscientious of that 7 or 9 second rule. I don't know exactly what it is, because if not, you're going to be putting in all this work for nothing, because they'll take down your video just like that. They won't get a hold of you. You can put in a protest. They don't care about. We are small fish in a big pond, and we're guppies and they're sharks.
Yeah. And so, I would tell everybody, if you're a content creator out there that got hit with this, or you're maybe starting out, don't run your music longer than 20 seconds. Just don't. And quite frankly, don't play a copyrighted song. Don't. It's just going to get you in trouble. And, if this is the way they're going to do it now, don't put up their videos. You're going to have to get a little better job describing them, but you can't do it. You just can't. So I feel bad for everybody, but WWE is trying to put this all under one umbrella, and that's where it's going to stay. So, check in with some of the pros. We'll help you out. We don't want anybody, losing their YouTube channels or anything like that. You got a radio guy right here. I got you.
And I think a lot of the people that were doing those reactional videos either will be hired by Club WWE, become a member of Club WWE, and they'll use their members to fish for material because it's on their platform. I think that's what the move is going to be, because now they can throw them guys a couple whatever coins, and their videos will be on there, but it will be their content that they can control.
Yeah. Hey, maybe they ought to hire us. We're pretty damn good at that. But
yeah. Not?
And one, by the way, there's one that I really want to mention. Conman 167. I love his stuff, and he's a great guy. I feel terrible for him. But hey, check with us. Maybe we can put you on a team. We'll figure it out and go from there. Oh, WWE doing their biz. But we also, unfortunately, had a passing this week of a true pioneer in professional wrestling. We're going to talk about who that was. And yeah, we got to talk about Backlash too in about 6 minutes. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show.
Join David Gould and Chuck Hayes for the fastest hour in radio. Catch the action this Saturday at a special time at 3 p.m. The Las Vegas Checkered Flag Report, covering the world of motorsports, right here on 101.5 FM.
It's not easy getting your child to school each day. Making breakfast, packing lunch, remembering homework, and getting to class on time. It's a lot, but you are setting up your child for success. Kindergarten through third grade classes are especially important to your child's growth. Missing school even 2 days a month could hurt your child's ability to learn. Give them the best chance of a great future because they'll be shaping ours. This message is sponsored by a partnership with Strengthen Our Community and Communities in Schools, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price of participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Determined to end veteran suicide, Canines for Warriors is the nation's leading nonprofit providing service dogs for veterans. To learn more, visit caninesforwarriors.org. That's K9S4Warriors.org.
1015 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
By the way, Grok thinks our show's pretty good too. Grok us. See what happens. But yeah, we got named one of them. Google AI says we're one of the best shows on the planet. And we are. About time everybody figured that out. But we welcome you back to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. Talk of Las Vegas, also on the Odyssey app, streaming YouTube, X, Facebook, and you got to get in that chat box. You know why you got to get in that chat box? Because we are going to be having Brian Alvarez coming on from the Wrestling Observer. I love that guy. I really do. He's pretty amazing. We're the same height, by the way, Coach. Actually, I think I might be an inch taller than him. It's kind of crazy. He looks taller on TV. Just me, but all right. I want to talk about Backlash and just in general. We got about 5 minutes, and I want to make sure that we get to talk about the passing of Ted Turner. But Coach, this is a pretty good card. We actually saw a little bit of heart from everybody this week, as opposed to B+ in it. We had some A-level matches on here. You look at the results that we had. Seth Rollins loses to Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker just continues to get better and better every week. Very impressive win for him. Asuka and Io Sky go at it. Talking match of the year candidate right there. And that one went 25 minutes. It was Asuka's longest match in WWE, which is really unbelievable when you think about that. Trick Williams retained.
I lost money on that.
No, you should. What? You bet.
I bet the under 12 minutes.
Oh, see, that was. I can understand that. But so, you get screwed on that one, Coach. Trick Williams retains the United States Championship. No surprise there. Our Danhausen and Minihausen get their victory on The Miz and Kit Wilson, and we see, saying goodbye to The Miz as he continues to get completely disrespected by WWE with all these crazy losses. And Jacob Fatu loses to Roman Reigns, so they didn't pull the trigger, but I don't know if they could have done anything more to make him look incredibly strong, as he got his head knocked into the turnbuckle with the turnbuckle pad off. Roman got him, and Jacob just got right up and beat the hell out of everybody. Your thoughts, Coach, on this card? Because I got to say it's pretty good, And I think they did a nice job with Roman and Jacob to keep this thing going.
Yeah, no, they did. It was a very entertaining card. The only thing I really didn't like was the Danhausen stuff, but hey, that's just me. But every other match had hard-hitting action. Whether they had some silly elements or not, they had great finishes. The Seth Rollins-Braun Breaker match was easily a 4.5-star match. That move with the spear transitioning into the pedigree was just another notch in Seth's belt on turning somebody else's move into a finisher for him. The whole Roman thing where he tried to pop him up into the Samoan drop and it ended up being a Superman punch into a spear. They had some moments that will not only be remembered, but that will go viral for the clips. And, the matches ended the way that many people thought they were going to end, but it wasn't predictable. There were ups and downs. There were great moves. There were transitions. There was run-ins. A lot of people thought that the run-in in the Seth match would cost Seth the match. It didn't. Braun beat him clean in the ring, and Roman beat him clean in the ring. The Usos didn't have to come out. These were matches that were hard-hitting and that produced great finishes that people are going to remember. I really enjoyed the night of wrestling.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was pretty good. I know a lot of people were very disappointed with Danhausen bringing out the Minihausen. I get that. But the match for what it wasn't terrible or anything like that. That's what you're going to get out of Danhausen, guys. You better get used to it. Danhausen, someday he'll probably get a title shot. Someday. He'll probably win the U.S. title or something somewhere down the road. But this is what you can expect from him, whether you like it or you don't.
I took Kit Wilson out of this whole program. Kit Wilson's going to be a star.
Oh,
he is tremendous. He has great ring presence. His catchphrases are great. He can command respect in this ring. So I'm looking forward to seeing him because he was the shining star out of this whole Danhausen, Miz, Kit Wilson feud. He's going to be the one that's remembered, and he's the one that's going to have the most longevity. Because I really think that WWE better watch out for oversaturating us with Danhausen. He's on everything right now.
I agree.
And if he's oversaturated, sometimes that turns people off.
I'm going to say this with Kit Wilson, too. I got to sit down and interview him at WrestleMania. He is a great person. I'd hang out with that guy anytime. He's fantastic. But that was the other point I want to make with Danhausen, too. He's on every show. There's going to be Danhausen fatigue. I called it a few weeks ago. It's coming. And I hope WWE just decides to back off a little bit. And before we get out of here, and I know you got to roll it out, Coach, but Ted Turner passing away this week, along with Bobby Cox, too, from the Atlanta Braves. Pretty crazy that they both passed away in the same week. But the man who kept wrestling alive in the South, got WCW and kept that rolling. And, we wouldn't be where we are today in pro wrestling without Ted Turner putting some wrestling on. And, it was no surprise that when he passed, they sold to AOL Time Warner, that things fell apart for WCW.
Yeah, without Ted, he was the first to put live wrestling on Monday nights. All that stuff was taped. The Raws were all taped before, so he's the one that took a flyer. And we needed that out of somebody. We needed a maverick. We needed someone that believed in the product, that knew that wrestling could make money for people. So all the Monday Night Raws, all the SmackDowns, all the Monday Nitros, all that is because of Ted. Ted, you're going to be missed, but I know you're up there looking down, smiling, because what you've done is made memories for people. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's sad to see him gone. He loved professional wrestling like no other, man. The TBS Superstation, 605, baby. So great. All right, Coach, I know you got to roll. Good to see you, sir.
Yep. Happy Mother's Day.
All right. Brian Alvarez coming up in hour number 2. Oh, that's going to be fun. I'm going to try and irritate Brian as much as humanly possible for just a minute. So we're going to have a blast in hour 2. But we have a lot more news to take care of, too, in the first segment. Stick around. It is going to be awesome here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas, Odyssey app, streaming on YouTube, X, and Facebook on The Mark Hoke Show. Stick around, everybody.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
May is Wildfire Awareness Month, and every Nevadan has a role to play. Wildfire doesn't wait. It moves fast, driven by wind, heat, and dry conditions in the Nevada high desert. It only takes one spark to put lives, homes, and communities at risk in minutes. Become wildfire ready with 3 simple actions. First, make a plan. Know your evacuation routes. Pack a disaster supply bag. Sign up for local emergency alerts. Second, prepare your home. Clear dead vegetation. Clean your roof and gutters. Move anything flammable away from your home. Creating defensible space can save your property and your life. Third, know before you go. On red flag warning days, avoid activities that can spark a fire, like a backyard fire pit or target shooting. For more information, visit oem.nv.gov. Sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Nevada Office of Emergency Management Homeland Security, and your local emergency manager's office, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
My neighbor used to keep his house nice and tidy. He dressed sharp, too. Now, I don't know, things have been off. The lawn's overgrown. Trash just sits there. He doesn't even comb his hair anymore. Could it be his new friend that's been coming around? He says he's fine, but I'm worried. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Something just doesn't feel right. I can't keep pretending everything's okay. Hi, I'd like to file a report. Trust your instincts. Make the tough call. Report neglect to Adult Protective Services anonymously. Call 888-729-0571 or visit nevada211.org/APS. This message is sponsored by Adult Protective Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Peace push. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox News. There may be signs of diplomatic progress between the U.S. and Iran. Fox's Trey Yingst has the latest from Tel Aviv.
Reports indicate that Iran has responded to the U.S. peace proposal to end the war, giving their response to Pakistani mediators. Now, initial reports in Iranian state media indicate their response focuses on ending the war and ensuring security in the Strait of Hormuz. There is no mention of Iran's nuclear program, a key agenda item for the Trump administration. Now, this comes as we're also tracking reports of a cargo ship that was targeted off the coast of Qatar earlier today. We understand an unknown projectile hit the vessel that was 23 nautical miles northeast of Doha. That, according to the UK Maritime Agency.
Iran has pushed to settle the Strait of Hormuz dispute first while standing firm on its nuclear program, terms the U.S. has so far rejected. The first of more than 140 passengers who disembarked from a cruise ship where a series of deadly hantavirus cases first broke out are now flying out of the Canary Islands.
Officials say none of those passengers have shown symptoms of the virus yet. 17 Americans will soon be flown to Nebraska, where they'll be monitored by a CDC team. At least 6 more states are monitoring cruise passengers who previously disembarked. And while none of the current passengers have tested positive for the hantavirus, the outbreak did earlier kill 3 people on board, and 5 passengers who left the ship are infected with the deadly virus. The World Health Organization, though, is reassuring people that there's no risk to the public. The weeks-long Atlantic cruise spiraled into a nightmare after it departed Argentina in March.
That is Fox's Chanley Painter. Officials have also repeatedly stressed the outbreak will not lead to another pandemic like in 2020. America is listening to Fox News.
From around the world,
Trey Yingst joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel.
To Washington,
I'm Mike Emanuel.
To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
Your back-to-back Los Angeles Dodgers baseball is coming up this afternoon at 12. And the talk you love is always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartMedia, or TuneIn apps. Just search for KDAWN in Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Okay, everybody, I promise I'm going to do better this hour than I did the last one. Okay, here's the mouse for that computer. That's for this one. That's for this one. Got it all organized. My wide orbit screen is correct. It's on the right station. Ugh. God, I hate producing a show myself. Need to hire somebody. Somebody give me a good sponsorship so I can hire a producer. I would appreciate it. But we're still one of the best pro wrestling radio shows on the planet per Google AI. And that is just amazing, especially when you consider my incompetence. But the Mark Hoke Show, bringing you the best in pro wrestling right now here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. And you can listen to all 220 of our stations. It's so many. You got everything you need. I guarantee it. You might even be able to find a show about cockroaches if you need to. There might be some cockroaches on the air. I don't know. I haven't been to all the stations. But get that app right now, and I promise you will never lack for entertainment. You can just tackle the cable. Just get the Odyssey app. Promise you, you're going to love it. AUDACY. Also live streaming on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook and YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. So you can come on in, make comments in the chat box. And I'm going to get to those before we get to Brian Alvarez in a little bit. Brian is an awesome guy. And he takes a lot of flack over there at Wrestling Observer, but that's what happens when you're one of the best. People coming after you. But Brian is an amazing guy, and you're going to be thrilled to get to hear from him. Get him on the other side of answering questions. This is going to be great. So stick around. He'll be here in the next segment of the show. All right. Backlash. We did get one other thing that Coach and I didn't get to talk about, and that is this new tournament, the John Cena Classic. Are you guys excited about this? So basically, this is going to be a one-day event where they're going to put WWE main roster people against NXT. They're going to have some matches, and you're going to vote for who you think had the best performance out of anybody. Wins, losses don't matter. This is based on performance. And I'm not going to say anything about who I heard had this idea a while back, that sort of concept. But this is going to be interesting. And look, WWE is going to try something new. Great. I think it'll work out all right. I do. I'm okay with it. And we could see some really fun matches too. So, let me know in the chat box what you guys think about the John Cena Classic coming up, as that was his big announcement at Backlash this week. Some of the comments in the chat box, I got to hit some of these because, man, you guys are on a roll in there today. Coach Keith Morrison, we were talking about getting some youth into WWE. It does, because younger people aren't watching the WWE PLEs. They're getting all their material off YouTube. That's an interesting thought. As you know, there's been a somewhat cursing battle for me and Danhausen, even though Danhausen likes me. I mean, I told him I'd get some teeth for him here in Vegas. We didn't get the horrible Hoke heel persona this week, hating on Danhausen. No curse needed at this time. Yeah, I kept going a little bit. You might jump the gun on that. Keith Morrison, I give nice try. Backlash, 6 out of 10. Better pace and match quality than Mania. Yeah, I thought so too. Some really good matches on this show. What else we have? Javon Campbell, 83-57. Oh, Coach Rosey beware. Didn't like the Danhausen match. You better watch out. And I think we had another comment. Coach is not being toxic according to the Kit. Kit Wilson, I'm telling you, he is a really nice guy. If you get a chance to meet him sometime, highly recommend you take a couple minutes and say hi. He's an outstanding individual. Really had a lot of fun with him. I got to talk to him at WrestleMania. But on the losing end to the Danhausen. I don't even know what yeah. Guys, I'm sorry. I think they're going to run this into the ground. This is going to be like that kid man, you remember the kid in Christmas Story got the BB gun? And you know darn well that in about 5 months, maybe, he had shot that thing so many times, like, I'm going to go get the yo-yo. I mean, I like my gun. This is what I always wanted. WWE has got to watch this a little bit. And I swear to God, if he ever gets a world title match, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. It's going to be serious freak out time. Danhausen is a good wrestler, but don't even know. So I just feel so weird about Danhausen. I can't get over it, guys. I'm sorry. We had some other interesting developments coming up this week, and AEW on Collision did their Fairway to Hell show. They had copyrighted that and trademarked that. And we were wondering what the heck was going on with this thing. Well, it turns out it was at the SoFi Center at Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. The matches that were inside the indoor golf venue there. Yeah. Kind of like a Topgolf sort of thing, but indoors. And all hell broke loose on this card. Mark Davis wins the national championship, making Jungle Jack Perry so irate he volunteers the Elite to join with Chris Jericho for the Stadium Stampede match. So, not a happy Jungle Boy, to say the least. We had Pac and Darby going at it as Darby Allin defends his world championship. And this match, Darby did a fall from a balcony through 4 tables. Was anybody not watching what happened to Sol Roca a couple weeks ago on NXT? Now, a little different. They had 2 tables next to each other on the floor, whereas Darby just kind of went through it like somebody was karate chopping planks. He's insane, man. I do have a clip up, and I always like to ask people to listen to this, where he explains his routine of recovery. It's fascinating what that man does to keep his body moving, because he should be pretty much crippled at this point. But what's more interesting to me about what Darby's doing right now, we are expecting MJF to win this match at Double or Nothing and regain the world championship. That's what we're expecting. But I think Darby's trying to make this decision a little bit tougher for Tony Khan than he wants. Darby is just wrestling his ass off out there, isn't he? I mean, he doesn't want it. If it is true that he's going to lose, let's just say it is. He has made a complete commitment to say, so I'm only going to get a month with this thing, huh? Well, you're going to remember every second I had this belt. He's a great guy, hard worker, and he'd been waiting for that opportunity for so long. And of course, the whole thing when he was going to go to Mount Everest and broke his foot, threw everything off schedule. He couldn't wrestle it all in because he was gone. And a lot of people felt like that he was scheduled to win the world championship there. But Darby has just been so impressive. And you got to love the guy. And then Mark Davis. Talk about a guy coming out of nowhere. When he's been in the ring, he has made sure that Tony Khan saw him because he has been outstanding. Dunkzilla. And they give him the national championship. I was shocked. But give both of those guys credit. And that's one of the cool things about AEW is that those guys just push themselves so hard. Sometimes they may go too far. But man, what a night for them. We also had an interesting development in this AEW TNA war, as you know. Well, first I want to congratulate the new TNA Knockouts champion, Lei Ying Lee, as she regains that championship. But TNA Slammiversary is on June 28th, and AEW Forbidden Door also ended up being scheduled for January 28th. And I don't believe there was any malice in that scheduling. They simply just happened to be on the same day. I don't think TNA should have scheduled that day, just me. But TNA has blinked a little bit, and honestly, I don't even consider this a blink. I just consider it good business. They have moved their card back to 3 Eastern. Forbidden Door starts at 8. Hallelujah. Let's have a great time on watching some wrestling that day. Good call, TNA. President Silva, you are correct. So we'll look forward to seeing that happening on, once again, that's June 28th. So you get TNA at 3 and Forbidden Door at 8. Nice. So pretty cool stuff there. Let me just slide up here real quick because I know there was one other thing that I wanted to make sure that I got to. Oh, yeah, we got to make sure we wish Chelsea Green a very speedy recovery. She had heart surgery this week, guys. Yikes. She had a heart procedure for a condition called SVT, or supraventricular tachycardia. Oh, I almost got it. It's my anatomy background. But they finally found this after 10 years. And what it does is it causes a faster erratic heartbeat that affects the heart's upper chambers. So this could have killed her. They caught it, got her in the hospital, and she's recovering. So it's going to be a while before we see Chelsea again. But man, That is just some serious stuff there, and very happy that Chelsea's going to be okay. But the hubby, I don't know if he's going to be okay. I'm concerned about what WWE is doing with Matt Cardona. Hey, great, Matt. You sign on with WWE. You get to work with your wife. Same show. That's awesome. You can't be mad about that, but what you can be mad about is you've only won 1 match out of 9. We always say you can always fix that stuff. But I don't like Matt Cardona's aura and the presence that he built out there on the independent circuit. I mean, he was like, woo, woo, screw you. And did the death match. I remember first time I saw he was in a death match. I'm like, what? Cardona, Zack Ryder's in a death match? Oh, yeah. And he just knocked it out of the park. And he is such a role model for any of you that are out there on the independent circuit as a wrestler, manager, whatever. You've got to go back and watch his videos because he showed the pathway for everyone to turn their careers around or make them better. You know, there's so many people out there that have gotten cut, that are getting cut, and it's not going to stop. And Matt Cardona has shined a flashlight on the path out of it. The guy was making so much money, it was ridiculous. But gosh, I hate to see him going into WWE and losing. It's almost an insult to the guy. So, Matt, I'm going to tell you this right now. Let me give you, I'm going to give Matt Cardona a tiny piece of Hulkamania here. I'm rooting for you, and I want you to go out some night in a match and just beat the hell out of somebody. Let's bring back that death match, Matt Cardona. Oh, because that guy, yeah. Go out and jump on Cody. Do you know how people would get into that with a crazy, evil Matt Cardona against Cody Rhodes? I'm okay with it. We're going to get Gunther. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And Paul Heyman, if you missed that, said that everyone needs the wise man. So he's hinting that Cody someday will be joining him. That would be interesting. I like that pairing. But that is going to wrap this segment of the Mark Hoke Show up. We are very excited. And this guy, I mean, he was up late last night doing his thing. And he is joining us here on the Mark Hoke Show. Brian Alvarez from the Wrestling Observer. He is the man, the myth, the legend. One of my role models in pro wrestling journalism, no doubt about that. And you're going to get to hear from next for the rest of the hour coming up. So stick around, everybody. We got more on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The Talk of Las Vegas.
You wouldn't put your life savings into a slot machine, so why keep it at a big bank where every month can feel like a gamble? At One Nevada Credit Union, we aren't playing games with your money. You get stability, local service, and better rates. Stop pulling the lever and hoping for the best. Switch to One Nevada Credit Union. Don't gamble with big banks. Federally insured by NCUA. You wouldn't put your life savings into a slot machine, so why keep it at a big bank where every month can feel like a gamble? At One Nevada Credit Union, we aren't playing games with your money. You get stability, local service, and better rates. Stop pulling the lever and hoping for the best. Switch to One Nevada Credit Union. Don't gamble with big banks. Federally insured by NCUA.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZY.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. Let's talk about Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm a little hyper today. I'm still destroyed by Danhausen. So we're gonna have Brian Alvarez. As soon as he pops in the room, we will get him on the air. Very excited to have Brian join us. That should be a lot of fun. You know what? Hey, there's a quick comment from Javon Campbell talking about Harley Cameron, who Mina Shirakawa ripped her shirt off and saw her bra, and it was like, oh my God. Has anybody looked at wrestling gear for the women lately? Jesus, JC Jane was ready to take her to a Poison concert. Woo! She was looking pretty sharp. All the ladies were kind of doing their thing this week. Oh my God, that match. Oh boy, I'll tell you, if you're a single guy, you were hoping you could meet somebody and get a good date out of it. But yeah, so there you go. Javon Campbell bringing that up. So thank you, Javon. Yeah, just having a great time in chat box, and let's get him in here. Oh my God. I heart this guy. I really do. I think he does some of the best work in pro wrestling. No question about it. And I am so honored that you woke up, Brian Alvarez.
Oh, yeah, I did.
To come on the show.
I just woke up. I didn't realize I had to look pretty either, so it's a brutal morning.
Oh, well, Brian, you always look good. Come on, man.
What's happening?
I mean, carry this face. Jesus. Unbelievable. Well, Brian, I want to talk to you about first all these releases and all this crazy stuff going on with WWE. We see the New Day disappearing. Roman supposedly is asked about a pay cut. And then all these financial figures come out, and it looks like WWE overall is doing pretty well. And their executives are doing really well too. Does this affect the fans' perspective on WWE and TKO? Are people going to get turned off when they see this kind of stuff going on? Or is TKO maybe right in saying, yeah, we don't care?
Well, a few things. I mean, yeah, half dozen people were asked to take pay cuts. And the story about Roman Reigns, I'm 99% sure is not true. He wasn't one of the guys asked to take a pay cut. But obviously, several others were, because two of them said no and quit the New Day. So every year after WrestleMania, they do this. It's not a new thing. We got some main roster cuts, and we also got a bunch of NXT cuts. And the NXT cuts actually probably happen about twice a year. And so I think that, like, right now, because they just had their earnings call and we know how much money they're making and this and that, I mean, there's never good timing to cut anybody, but cutting people right in the wake of, oh, this guy got a raise, and last year he made $27 million to Nick Khan. But meanwhile, we gotta cut some people or ask for pay cuts. It's something that when fans hear about it, obviously it doesn't come off well, but it is a fact of life, unfortunately, in this company, mostly this company, AW. More often than not, they will just let your contract expire. It is unusual on the surface for a company to say, hey, we agreed to this amount of money for this many years, but we would like to ask you to make less, even though we're making so much money. It has not like it's not happened before. It has happened in WWE, but about a half dozen people were asked. The pay cuts were, at least one was asked to do a 50% pay cut. Some of them were asked to take less. Looks like about 4 said yes, 2 said no. And we may find out that maybe there were others as well. But if you look at the overall size of the roster, it was a big story because the New Day has been around forever. Kairi Sane was in the middle of a storyline. But really, if you look at the size of the roster, there were very few people asked to do this. But those few people, because of the names that came out, it became a really big story. And you're not going to have fans looking at this place going, oh, wow, that was a cool thing for them to do. They're obviously not happy.
Well, one thing that I looked at a few months ago and just seeing the strength of the NXT roster and knowing that some of these guys were going to be coming up and the women, if I was a veteran in the WWE locker room, I know there's professionalism and you help each other and you try to kumbaya it, but man, I'd have been nervous as was. And now you see this kind of stuff going on too. I know you're pretty wired in. How are some of the veterans handling this that have been there a while? We got like a guy like Sheamus or, Natty is sitting there, just signed a new contract. And
are you aware that Tamina Snuka is still being paid?
Yes. That's crazy, isn't it?
She has not been a part of the active roster in years. I think her last match was 2023. She is still getting paid. That's one of the weird things about the cuts is who gets cut or asked to take a pay cut and who doesn't. Okay. Like we know about the New Day because that name came out. We don't know the other names. I have been told names. I can't confirm these names, but
Ooh, do tell.
Well, I
know you can't. It's okay.
They may not be true.
Come on, Brian.
I've been told names, and other people have said, regardless of we know names, that these are like upper mid card people that have been featured on pay-per-views. And when you really think about, well, those people were asked to take pay cuts, but like Tamina Snuka is still employed, and I don't want to bring up other names of people that are still employed, but we can all think of people who are still employed by this company. And meanwhile, the New Day is asked to take a pay cut, and others are as well. What part of it is? I did explain this on YouTube, on Observer Live, and this is not my defense of it. Okay, it's not my defense. If I had a company that was making as much money as TKO is making, I would not opt to ask people to take pay cuts. But there are a few things. Number one, TKO is a publicly traded company, and they have a responsibility to their shareholders, and they need to find a way to lose less money and pay off this, not just debt, but like interest on debt. They owe a lot of money that they've got to pay off.
Yeah, it's like $4.67 billion.
Yeah, so there's that. And at the end of the day, it's a business. And the way that they justified the pay cuts and the people they asked to take pay cuts is so obviously they purchased from Vince McMahon. And a lot of people originally signed deals under Vince McMahon. And some of these people signed deals under Vince McMahon a long time ago. And so there are people that are on very, very high paying deals. And the business has completely changed since when they signed those deals and today. So TKO's argument is, listen, we signed you for this amount of money. And at the time, we were running house shows. You were on the road 4 days a week. You were away from your family. You know, you got a travel day as well. So probably 5 days a week you're away from your family. The way that it's set up, like we fly you to the town. You then provide your own transportation from town to town. You pay for your own hotel, your wherever you're going to stay from town to town. And then we fly you back. It's like WWE, you're responsible for flying you into one town and out of another town. You are on your own for the rest. You're an independent contractor. And it costs money to rent a car. Where do you want to stay? Are you going to do a Mick Foley and stay in a budget hotel? Or are you going to buy a really nice hotel? What are you going to do? Are you going to get a whatever? And so now you have one show a week, Raw or SmackDown. You don't work every show. You know, in the old days, maybe you were wrestling 4 days a week. Now you wrestle once or twice a month, maybe. So, like, we were paying you for something that no longer exists. And so we would like to pay you less because you're not doing that stuff anymore. That is their justification. And there might be others that are asked to do the same thing. There may have been, like, for all we know, people have been asked to do this pay cut deal. For all we know, they've been asking people to restructure their contracts. In fact, I know they have for some people for a long time now, and it's probably going to continue. And that is TKO's side of the story. You know, we are paying you less because you are doing way less for us now. So that is the way they look at things. And, you know, if you're a business owner, you can probably say, well, I get it. If you're not a business owner, you could say, well, yeah, it's not my fault you cut house shows. I mean, we agreed to this and it's in the contract, so whatever. And, you know, their argument will be, okay, well, if you don't want to do it, fine. You know, we'll let you go. So there's two sides to every story. As a fan, you're going to look at it from the wrestler side. But there is a side where TKO is looking at this like, we are not evil people. We're trying to, like, keep this business going here. And we're paying you now for a lot of things that don't exist anymore.
All right, we're on with Brian Alvarez from the Wrestling Observer. How much of an impact will the New Day have when they go to AEW? Because we all know they're going to AEW.
Well,
I mean, there's some serious possibilities, but will it have a long-term impact? Could it, will it help AEW, hurt WWE?
I think that there's a 98% chance they're going, but they would like Woods to not go. They would like to have him be on one of these Tyler Breeze video game type deals.
Yeah, he's never going to do that.
And hey, he might, but the chances are they're probably going to AEW. And I don't know. I mean, obviously, initially, the New Day, they've got matches with the Young Bucks, which both sides have wanted to do forever. And, that's a pay-per-view match that people are really going to want to see. And, there is stuff for them to do, but, and obviously they'll make a lot of money. That's good. But, the issue with AEW, whenever someone goes, oh man, they'll go to AEW, whatever. The issue is there are so many people signed to AEW.
Yeah. And
I can't in good conscience say that anybody is guaranteed to, like, be a big deal in AEW, because everybody will be, they'll make an impact when they first come in. But after that, it's like, man, I don't know, dude. There's so many people there. I mean, 200, there's got to be 230, 240 people in a contract.
I'll count it.
Really look at it. I'm sure somebody can go and add up all the numbers, but, like, how much of an impact can you make when you are in a promotion with that many people? It's actually very much, it's not as bad, but it's like WWE. Man, they got so many people under contract that, it's hard to make a dent in a meaningful way. We are in a period where if you're like, AEW is going to draw on the name AEW, and WWE is going to draw on the name WWE. There are AEW pay-per-views where if you have the right match, you might add 20,000 buys, but you ain't turning the business around with any one match. You're not turning the business around with any one person. I mean, maybe if a Roman Reigns went to AEW, you would really make a meaningful, probably not gigantic difference, but a difference. If MJF went to WWE, you'd probably make a meaningful, but also not a gigantic difference. So I think they would mean something, obviously, initially, and there are matches that I think would be a big deal. But as far as like changing the business of AEW, I don't think it's going to happen.
I am just so looking forward to that 5-way ladder match. I can't wait.
Five-way?
It all in.
Golly.
Absolutely.
I would bet, honestly, I would bet that match is probably just going to be a 3-way. I think it'll probably be Edge and Christian, the Bucks, and FTR. And I think after that, like, honestly, if it were me and I were Tony Khan and I managed to sign the New Day, I would do the 3-way ladder. Actually, I don't even know if I would do that because Edge and Christian have to win these. Actually, you know what? Edge and Christian are probably going to win the titles at Double or Nothing. Okay, so, all right, if it were me, fantasy booking, I would do the 3-way ladder match at Wembley. I would have the Bucks win the 3-way, and then the New Day debuts at Wembley afterwards. You do the stare down in Wembley. Everyone does their chants I can't say here on the radio. And like, boom, we're off to the races. That's probably what I would do.
I send the Motor City Machine Guns in there and kill them all.
Dude,
let them chase.
That's another one. Like the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, they're awesome. And they'd have awesome matches in AEW. But at the same time, it's like another team would be going to this,
it's
bulging roster. And I just, I see it like, oh man, here are the Motor City Machine Guns. They got a great match on Collision. And then like, that's it.
I got you. Let me ask about Big E, because I know he came out and made a statement. Yeah, I'm staying here and all that. But I can't help but wonder, with the talent that man has and how much, he's done other football shows. I would think that like Fox, NBC, or anybody else would have to be calling him. And I would think he'd want to listen a little bit.
Well, you got to remember
that he's got to be a little upset about this.
Oh, I'm sure he is not happy at all. But at the same time, he can't wrestle. They shot that great angle. I mean, the angle they shot when they broke up, when the New Day turned heel.
Oh, it was awesome.
Man, I thought that was incredible. And then like the 3 weeks afterwards, they would come out and just get that reaction. It was just great. And I think it happened in like the fall of some year. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I just remember thinking, they got to do a deal because initially, you got to remember, they were teasing. I think that they were going to, like, Woods and Kofi were going to break up. I think was like that's what they
messed
teasing.
around with that a little bit. Yeah.
And then they went heel together. And, I remember before they broke up, I thought, they should feud, but like nobody wants to boo the New Day long term. So they should feud for 5-6 months. They do their big blow off match at that year's WrestleMania. And then Big E shows up and reunites the New Day. And that's your big babyface happy ending pop at WrestleMania. I thought it's easy. He can't wrestle, but he can reunite them. He can be Miss Elizabeth.
Nice.
And, but it didn't happen. And it just fizzled out and nothing became of it. And so, it's possible they were waiting to see if like, well, can Big E, is he going to get cleared? And then maybe we can do something there. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Nothing happened. So, Big E does a great job on those panel shows. And, he could probably go to AEW and do commentary, but they already have like 7 people at the commentary booth. This is a very good role for him. And if you like, depending on who offers him an outside role, I mean, WWE would let him do it depending on who it is. So, he could do a lot of mainstream sports commentary and work for WWE. I mean, he can't possibly be happy. I mean, I haven't talked to him, but like, it's impossible. The New Day's done. But I do think that since he cannot wrestle anymore, and since he's got a job that he seems to be really good at, and it could open doors for other opportunities like this, I think I can see him, staying and doing that. Yeah. And I'm sure I shouldn't say that, but like we all know, I'm sure the New Day was like, dude, don't quit over us. Like,
I'm
do
sure
your job, make your money. Why would you do that? Like, and you never know. It's WWE. New Day could be back next year.
That is true. All right. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more with Brian Alvarez from Wrestling Observer. And I have a special treat for Brian.
Oh, really?
I do.
I cannot wait for this.
I take care of my guests. So we'll have that for you when we come back. And we're going to keep talking some pro wrestling with one of the best in the business. And his hair still looks good, Brian Alvarez.
Oh, God.
We'll be right back.
Preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Tune in to Golden Years, a roadmap to navigate retirement, Saturdays at noon, right here on 101.5.
15 million students are missing 2 or more days of school each month in the United States. This is called chronic absenteeism. Communities and Schools of Western Nevada provides free resources to help students miss fewer classes, even when transportation, housing, or healthcare are factors. Remember, being present matters. This message is sponsored by a partnership with Strengthen Our Community and Communities in Schools, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Spring is showing up and showing out. Give your yard its own moment with limited time deals from Lowe's. Grab select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets, 2 for only $15. Plus, we've got Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for just $10. A little dirt, a little color, and we are so back. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid 5/7 through 5/13. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and whatever, just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go get that app right now, and it will guarantee the happiness and joy of Brian Alvarez's kids. Yeah. I promise you. So go get that app and listen to all of our 220 stations. We also are live streaming on X, YouTube, Facebook. Having a great time, and I'm sure not as much of a good time for Brian because he claims he didn't groom himself, but I think it looks all right.
My caffeine's kicking in.
All right. God, we could just keep the live stream going then.
I'm not a lazy person, everybody.
I know you're not.
I realize that those of you on the West Coast or the East Coast are like, it's 12:45. What's the problem? I was up really late last night doing an audio show talking about Backlash, so my sleep schedule is weird.
You are one of the hardest working people in pro wrestling. And yeah, I really enjoyed WrestleMania this year. And over the years, I saw the first one. I was at a closed circuit show.
Wow.
Watching the
Yeah,
tag
for
team
those
match.
Who
And
don't know, the very first WrestleMania was so far back that it wasn't on pay-per-view. You had to go to a closed circuit theater to watch that show.
it was awesome. I went to
Not
York
that you're
Suburban High
old.
School.
Not that you're old, Mark, but that was a long time ago.
Brian, you got to hire me because I'm dying soon, man. But WrestleMania has had so many incredible matches. You know, we had Hoke and Andre. We had Brett and Steve Austin. And just classics. But something happened this WrestleMania week that I could not believe. Might be my favorite WrestleMania moment.
Really?
Yeah. You might know about this.
Twitter is going to lose their marbles.
And there are reverse knife edges being exchanged.
Alvarez fires.
4-star.
Oh, that's a great
shot.
shot. Poke in the eye. What the hell?
The eye poke.
Disgusting.
Full versus the
nice duck
Observer
under.
here.
Super kick from Alvarez.
Takes down Sap.
Cover.
Sap is rolled like a jelly roll there. 3.
I'm glad you
That
stopped it there and not after what happened immediately afterwards.
Yeah, you got your ass kicked.
Oh.
But it's okay. Brian, that was so much fun. And when and what sucked was I was at the show before that and then I didn't stay.
Oh, you left? I'm disgusted. I should walk out right now.
I had to do work too. But,
I believe you.
But what a moment.
You had to get up in the morning for this show.
Yeah.
I remember because you wanted me to come to the studio on Sunday, and I was like, brother, there's no chance that one's happening. No.
I always try, though. But how much fun was that for you and Sean?
I had a wonderful time, actually. I don't know how much kayfabe to break here, but like
break it. Just do it.
The match itself was the Immortal Cluster. I won't say the rest of it.
Thank you.
And it was a Royal Rumble, and I couldn't even tell you how many battle royals I've been in my lifetime, because like way back in the day when I worked for Tim Flowers, he would have they would do shows all over Washington State and the Vancouver-ish area, British Columbia, and like virtually every show there would have the same gimmick, which was the show would open with a battle royal, and whoever won the battle royal would then wrestle Tim for the title in the main event. So I had to do all of these battle royals. I absolutely hate battle royals. Okay. I know fans probably watch battle royals. They're like, oh, but they'd be so much fun. No, they suck. They suck. And you have to wrestle twice when you're doing the battle royal. And then, what can you do in a battle royal? You're not supposed to take a bunch of bumps. I mean, nowadays it's all different because they have all these, intricately planned spots. But like back in the day, it was just like, all right, you're going over, everybody get in the ring. And that was it. And you just you
just fought and had fun.
Yeah. Oh, I'll hit you, you hit me. But, you couldn't take a bump because Tim would freak out. No bumps in the battle royal. Because someone would get hurt. So they sucked. I got pantsed in a battle royal in 1998 and by Lazenby and what's his name from Luther from AEW.
Oh yeah,
one of the prime. Yeah, he's gonna get it one of these days.
Brian will get him back.
Oh yeah, but anyway, the point is,
I promise.
I hate battle royals, but I'd never been in a Royal Rumble. Okay, so I was, I got to see them put this thing together, and it's like they had this big long spread. They're like sitting there before the show. It's like, okay, well, third will be so and so, and then and it took them so long because it ended up there were just 90 people in this cluster, and so the show started. The show was supposed to start at 11. I don't think the cluster started to 12:10 because they were still putting it together. So anyway, they had the idea. We want you and Sean Ross Sapp in there. And, they basically told us, like, Alvarez tosses Sap, and then, Fuego's going to get rid of Alvarez, and, that's what we knew. So, we knew that there was not a lot of time because there were 90 people. It was like, do the spot, get in, get out. And so that's what we came up with, the quick chop battle, which we chopped the heck out of each other.
You did. You guys were landing.
My chest was all destroyed.
Does he really hit that hard?
Yeah, super kick spot, pin the guy. Fuego comes in, kicked a field goal with my head, pinned me, threw me out. So actually, I had the honor of being eliminated twice from the cluster because you can be eliminated by pinfall or going over the top rope. So I lost twice in one match.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Sean Ross Sapp only lost once. So anyway.
But you finished the job. You finished the job on him.
On myself, too.
Yeah, well.
Let me tell you.
Can't win them all.
I had a fun time. But, it's like, I was really excited to do it. And, I had a lot of fun doing it. I had a great time. And, like, after it was over, like, man, I was wired. And I couldn't go to bed till like 4 a.m. because I was just wired because it was fun. But I will say that, I knew I was going to be in it when I flew into Vegas, but I didn't know anything else. And, I had ideas and other people in the match. We came up with these ideas we wanted to do. And eventually, like, things didn't work out. And then we ended up with this. And it was like, I will say that I was stressed out the entire time until I stood up from my chair because I had so much stuff to do over Mania weekend, and we had live Q&As, and I had shows to go to, and I had shows to do, and, I don't want to go in there and look terrible, so, like, I had to eat right, and it was just very stressful, and so, especially in my actual, like, back in the day career, I will say, and this is for wrestling and for everything else, for all the listeners out there, old people like me, they will tell you this and you won't listen, but trust me, it's true. Try to enjoy the stuff that you do. Try to enjoy it in the moment because, like, especially me, like, I never wanted to, I wasn't the best, okay, but I never wanted to look bad, okay? Right. Yes, if you go online and you want to clip up one moment from a match here and there and do a meme or that's I don't care. But like if you watch a full match of mine, I never wanted to be bad. And so like I worked really, really hard and I never really enjoyed it because I was worried about everything else. And looking back, I do wish I would have enjoyed it more. And I was lucky because like 2017, 2018, I got to come back with Tom and we did all those chop and roll matches. And I will say that I enjoyed it then. I had a lot of fun and I had a lot of fun experiencing the cluster. So if you're a person who like has something that you're passionate about and you do it every single day, like every now and then stop and just, you know what? I'm going to have fun on this one. I'm going to enjoy this. I am going to experience this because someday it's all going to be gone. And you don't want to look back and go, man,
I wish I would have done blank.
I didn't. Well, not even that. Just I didn't really live it. I was too in my own head the whole time.
Well, talk about enjoying your job. I got about 45 seconds. I'm sure you'll probably talk about this for an hour, but doing your job. How much fun is it? Especially, things have been kind of crazy. People getting stuff wrong, and it's got to drive you nuts sometimes, but how much fun is the Wrestling Observer? And
I will tell you this, the only thing that's not fun is sometimes when I have to do Observer Radio, Dave isn't ready until about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm tired, okay? That's the only thing that is not fun. And I like doing the Observer show. When it's actually going, I have fun, but it's so late that it's like I have to just rally to life for that hour and 15 minutes. But other than that, I never have a bad time doing this. No matter, stuff on Twitter, comments, stuff like that, watching a bad show, I got to try and make it fun, even if it sucks.
And you're great at it. I just love some of the things that you do on the air. And, it's so much fun to watch you work. And, I'll tell you what, if Dave ever pulls that on you again, call me. All right, I'll come on with you
not
for a little
holding it,
bit.
it's just life.
I'll pep you up, and then Dave.
I could use a pep talk at 1:00 in the morning, Mark.
Dude, anytime. You know that. You got my number. But Dave's wife likes me, so
Everyone likes you.
Really?
I think.
I don't know. But Brian Alvarez, Wrestling Observer. Make sure you go to the website. Check it out. I mean, the work's incredible. YouTube, and just a hell of a great American too. Brian, thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. Brian Alvarez joining us on the Mark Hoke Show, and that's going to wrap it for us. We'll be back next week. Oh, man, the news just keeps coming and coming. It never stops, and we're going to keep bringing it to you. Google AI says we're a pretty good show, so listen to Google. That's all you can do. We'll see you next week, everybody, on the Mark Hoke Show. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show and YouTube and Facebook at the Mark Hoke Show. See you later.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
May is Wildfire Awareness Month, and every Nevadan has a role to play. Wildfire doesn't wait. It moves fast, driven by wind, heat, and